the road. The show comes to St. Michael-Albertville High School for North Metro TV coverage of the Centennial Cougars in round 2 of the 6A playoffs. The 3 seed travels to the 2 seed. Our cameras trained on 2 different road venues tonight as the Bengals also playing on, but we focus in on the Cougars. J.W. Cox alongside Nick Walsh. And Nick, this is a rematch. This is an evenly matched game when it comes to their records. We'll see if it plays out that way, but it has the makings, on paper, where nothing's decided, of being a good matchup here in this second round.
Yeah, there's a reason they don't play the games on paper, because the stats kind of belittle what happened the first time. Centennial led this game. They matched up earlier in the season. Centennial led 16-0, but if you look on paper, they only had 107 yards of offense. St. Michael-Albertville was able to come back, win that game 19-16. We should have another good matchup, but you never know what's going to happen once the clock starts.
You look on paper, and this bracket shows the only thing that went against the paper in the first round. The only low seed that won was Lakeville North, 39-0 over White Bear Lake. That's less of an upset, probably more of a section-based miss seed, like they easily could have been the 4. But there you saw the lone upset of round number 1. These 2 teams making their way here. Centennial dispatched Eastview 35-7, and St. Michael-Albertville beat Burnsville 41-14. Cougars won the toss. As you see a couple of the other brackets, Cougars won the toss, will kick it away. A windy day, could be a lot colder for this second round game in the state tournament. It's not great conditions. We'll see how the wind plays a factor in this one. Cougars put it into the end zone. And the Centennial defense, Nick, that comes in, averaging just 15 points allowed per game on the season. Their defense is one of the top 10 in these final 16, as here's the bracket that is of note tonight. Stillwater-Wayzata playing tonight. They'll get the winner of our game next week at a neutral site at Park Center.
Yeah, and 2 really good games. I'm really interested to see what happens with that Stillwater-Wayzata game. Obviously, Centennial has played all 3 of those teams, losing to Stillwater 7-0. They knocked off Wayzata earlier this season as well, 6-0, and then of course St. Michael-Albertville losing 19-16.
And no surprise, it's the Knights starting out with a run. It's Brett Ruse, a running back, coming from the left side to the near side. He's eventually taken down by Lance Nielsen Jr. as they start this drive at the 20. A whole lot of work there to get out to the 21-yard line. It's a 2-headed running monster between their top 2 backs, Jarrett Bennett and Max Kiefer, but a good quarterback in Owen Neros, who threw for 2 touchdowns in that comeback effort against the Cougars earlier this year. They'll run it again. This time it's Bennett bouncing off the left side. Reese Newdahl up in run support. That defensive front, Nick, has to come to play. They can control games. If they do that, Cougars are in a good spot on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, you take a look at that defensive line. Isaiah Ward up there, Chase Granzow, Cameron Bettinger. They've got to control this tempo, and of course the linebackers as well. Mason Mix, Reese Littlefield, Lance Nielsen Jr. All of those players are going to be involved. Evan Lechner as well on the front 7.
Knights pick up a first down on 2 runs. The second was the biggest. Now the third becomes the biggest of all 3. A burst up the middle for Bennett again. 5'11", 185 tailback. Jared Bennett, 103 carries for 690. He's up over 700 yards now coming in, along with Max Kiefer. He's a guy that runs this offense, and combined they have over 1,000 yards, over 1,200 yards on the season.
Bennett was a player that was successful against Centennial the first time around. Just 12 carries, but 77 yards. He averaged almost 6.5 yards per carry the first time around.
2 big rushes, and now we see Keefe. And he finds a seam on that left side near the sticks and has enough for a first down, forcing the secondary and Lance Nielsen again to make the tackle. And that's not a good sign for the Cougars. 3 big runs to pick up 3 first downs here already and into Cougar territory.
Nothing sneaky so far for St. Michael-Albertville. Pretty much right up the gut here, first with Bennett and now with Kiefer. And Kiefer and Bennett, you mentioned, they can go back and forth and give each other a little bit of rest on every other play.
Got some significant size on that offensive line to St. Michael-Albertville. That time, Bennett slowed at the line, bounces in a secondary push, gets him inside the 40, down to the 38-yard line. Owen Barthel is a big 6'4" right tackle. Xavier Peltoma, the center, also running at 6'3", 295. But as Nick said, not a whole lot of trickeration, just hitting those gaps right between the guard and tackle.
Yeah, they've also got number 71, Alex Markgraf down there, 6', 285 as well on that line. So a lot of meat down there in the front for St. Michael-Albertville.
Second down and A play over the middle to a wide open receiver, and the first throw from Neros misses his intended target. Sawyer Fosberg was sneaking down the seam there, could not hit it. So the Cougars will face a third down here defensively and a chance to force a fourth down decision.
Yeah, Forsberg, the 6'3", 220-pound tight end. They don't throw a lot to him, just 5 catches for 78 yards, but there he was wide open on the play and just an overthrow by Neros.
This is an offense for St. Michael-Albertville averaging over 220 per game on the ground, just over 110 through the air. They will keep it on the ground with Keefe, and he won't get there. They are into Cougar territory, so thinking two-down territory. Brady Ivory in on the stop for the Cougars, along with Isaiah Ward.
Yeah, good play there by Centennial. They're setting up a fourth down play, and this is kind of the netherworld for high school teams right at the 37-yard line, and it looks like St. Michael-Albertville is going to go for it early here with 9:15 to go here in this first quarter.
5 yards, 4th and 5, officially need to get inside the 32. Split a pair out wide either side. Neros under center, Keefe off to his left. One man with his hand on the ground, it's Ruse. They will throw. It is complete for a first down. That was all on the route, run by Ryland Maynard. Got to the sticks, cut in, and Neros hits him for the completion and a first down.
And they have spotted this ball kind of in a tough spot. They will say a first down. It was right at the sticks. And Mike Diggins on the far side of the football field, not happy with the spot of the play, but a nice play there. Catching it is Maynard, a little bit of a slot receiver there, just the fade into the middle of the field on the slant, and a first down for St. Michael-Albertville.
His 11th catch for up over 120 yards this season. Keefe with his hand on the ground. They'll give it to the D-back. Bennett, and he's straight through and gone. The run game bites the Cougars early here in the second round, and with just under 8:40 to go, it's a 6-0 lead for St. Michael-Albertville.
That was an impressive drive there by St. Michael-Albertville as they ran it right up the gut against Centennial, right into the meat of the defense, and they were able to impose their will on Centennial early, and the big run there is hardly touched on the way in was Jared Bennett for his 9th touchdown of the year.
So Bennett from 32 yards out. Now the extra point try coming up. That's the wide receiver Riley Purcell, who doubles as the place kicker. Snap back, hold down, kick up, and the kick is good, and it's a 7-0 lead. They had some trouble with those extra points in that comeback attempt, while you ended up with the odd score of 19-16, and they scored 3 touchdowns. There it is, just straight up the gut, running behind Peltoma, the center, opening up a hole, and then it's straight to your living room.
Really impressive start for St. Michael-Albertville. Now the question is, can Centennial answer? Obviously, Centennial did not score an offensive touchdown in that first game. They scored twice on defense to pick up that 16 points that they had. Only 107 yards of total offense the first time around, and it's clear that that offense is going to have to be much more productive here the second time around if they're going to be able to compete and play with St. Michael-Albertville tonight.
The average St. Michael-Albertville does 28 points per game. That's middle of the pack among the 16 teams that are left here in 6A, but that's plenty of points and more than the Cougars at 19 a game, so you're right. They're going to have to find a way to score in this one. It can't just be that Cougar defense. They'll make some adjustments, but you have to answer here early on. Real quick, far side of the field. Another option, Mav Harper down on the near side.
Well, and you talk about that St. Michael-Albertville offense, and we've talked a lot about the running game, but this is a team that averages almost 335 yards of offense a game in total, which is
kicking team encroachment, number 28, 5-yard penalty, re-kick.
Well, so this ought to help them out, keep it out of the end zone in any event. See if the Cougars off this re-kick can get a good look at field position here. But yeah, you're right. It's just an overall good offense. You have to be weary. That pass that he missed was a touchdown, right? If he doesn't overthrow him. So that run game is definitely going to set up the pass game, which Neros has done to the tune of 57% on a completion percentage this year.
And more than 1,000 yards passing in the air. So we've talked about the running game, but the passing game has been pretty serviceable as well for St. Michael-Albertville.
Headed towards Will Quick. He'll take it at the 17-yard line. Bursts his way on the hash marks, right side, plenty of space, and he tumbles ahead close to the 45, and that fires up the student section and the sideline. Will Quick, nothing fancy there, just shimmies his way right through the defense. And that knee kick and the loss of yards on the encroachment does the Cougars well to start off at their own 44-yard line. This offense averaging 250 per game, most of that on the ground with over 200 yards per game in this rushing offense.
And this certainly isn't going to hurt, having short field position here. Good field position is going to be a factor here in tonight's game for Centennial.
So Dalen Cummings, the sophomore quarterback, who the last time he faced this team, it was his second start as a high school quarterback running this offense. He's made leaps and bounds since then as Lance Nielsen Jr. is out of an ankle tackle. He needs one block to get all the way there with some speed. He'll cut back in. Nielsen Jr. will go. There's the answer for Centennial, and we're an extra point away from a tie game one play later.
And Centennial gets the offense that they didn't have the first time. We've talked about it a few times, but here we go. Centennial finding a way into the end zone. One play and a plus 50-yard, and now Lance Nielsen may have pulled something, either going into the end zone or maybe on the celebration, but it looks like his right knee or calf, he might have maybe some sort of a cramp or something in that lower leg, so we'll have to monitor him. But he came off after the celebration, but Centennial gets into the end zone, and he's going to have to be helped over to the bench.
Eli Nowazki on for the extra point try. Cummings, his holder. Down, kick, up, good. Nowazki has been good all season long, and he makes it 7-7. And that is exactly what they were looking for. Well blocked up front there, Nick, and a great read, and then a great finish to that run, despite the unfortunate fact that clearly Lance Nielsen Jr. injured something at the back end of that play.
Well, I was wondering, as he went into the end zone, he took kind of an odd circuitous route if we watch the replay here. And great blocking up front, first off, on the actual play. He gets out in front and into the secondary, and now this is just speed. And as you mentioned on the actual call, he gets the block he needs to get in, and then as he's dancing through there, you can see right there, he may have, well, looks like initially I think he did pull something there initially, and then all the excitement took over for just a second, and he looked for his teammates and then went, oh, wait a second, something's not right here. So something may have happened as he was going into the end zone.
Left side blocked well. Isaiah Ward at left tackle. Marco Villa at left guard. Got it done. That's how that's supposed to look, right? I mean, in this offense, every play, that's what coaches say, every play designed to get a 6, and if you block it well, that's exactly what they did. They got their 6, and they're tied at 7. Kickoff. That one bounces short, but does make its way half a bounce later into the end zone for another touchback. Well, you look this here.
Right there as he went across the end zone, a little bit of a tweak. And then he stops, looks for the teammates, and then maybe said, hey, wait, don't jump into my arms quite yet.
Just bad footing, a bad landing there on that extra long stride. But Coach Dagan's squad, he's in his 12th season, no stranger here to these positions. The Cougars, they have won at least 2 state tournament games in each of the last 2 seasons. That's on the line right now to try and get this second one. Nero's rolling out to throw, has time, looks across, and it's knocked away. Deflected by Reese Newdahl, the senior leader from the back end of that defense, and he was right there on the spot to rip that one away.
You watch the right ankle right there. You can see that kind of shifts to the right. Just a little bit of a turn, and so we'll have to watch to see if Lance Nielsen Jr. is able to come back in the game or not. Maybe get a tape job on the far side, depending on how bad it is.
Well, that's defensive impact, too, because he's been great on the defensive side, playing a lot of both ways. Fumble down on the deck, bounces right back into the hands of Max Kiefer. So fortunate bounce for St. Michael-Albertville, but it'll only get a couple of yards, and it brings up a 3rd down.
Nielsen on the season, 33 tackles, but maybe more importantly, he leads this team with 3 interceptions coming in as well. So in that linebacking, shifting back into the defensive backfield from time to time. So he is out currently.
Looks like Andrew Zurich will be the guy who takes over for him. Number 8 in white, kind of floating around on the perimeter, but also at that linebacking spot. So it's a 3rd down and 7 after the short gain of 3. From the 23-yard line. Big moment to keep the momentum. Nero screen pass. Cougars there. Nowhere to go. Brady Ivory leading the pack. Reese Newdahl reading it well. And the Cougars shut it down on the outside and bring up a 4th down. That was Daniel O'Neill, on the outside. He was the first man to get a brush of the ball carrier.
Really a nice play containing and staying where you're supposed to be. This was good containment. The screen pass came in, and the wide receiving core for St. Michael-Albertville not able to hold their blocks, and the defense was able to close in and get the stop.
So no gain and a punt coming up. Cougars trying to bring that pressure. Ball away. Cougars waved off of it. Takes a good Cougar bounce, and they will start with excellent field position now. Already a 56-yard touchdown to their credit. Starting at their own 44. Now they'll start at the St. Michael-Albertville 35. So as good as that first drive was, Nick, for the Knights, and seemed like they had the momentum, you get a one-bang play for 56 and a 3-and-out, and all of a sudden all the momentum is wearing white and red.
And meanwhile, we'll be continuing to follow the other games throughout the night. And 7:38 to go in the first quarter. In the other second-round action, it's Wayzata 7, Stillwater nothing.
Lance Liu will get his first carry of this game, and he has been the man over the last couple of weeks. Liu up over 1,000 yards for the season as he tumbles ahead to the 30-yard line. And Lance Liu, the last 2 games, 47 carries for 420 and 5 touchdowns. That's a yards per rush of almost 9, Nick. And this guy, he gets those small carries. They ask him to do a lot in the trenches, but it is multiplied for him on a number of carries over the last couple of weeks. It will be the lone setback again. Last week was also a record for Lance Liu. 3 carries individually of 50-plus yards. Dalen Cummings will keep this time and peel his way off the edge, and he lost the football late. No, they say he was down at the 22-yard line. So he had the first down. He was down, and it will stay Cougar ball. So both teams getting fortunate there, and Jake Springer, the senior linebacker, thought he had it, but the whistle was immediate. Call made. It's an 8-yard pickup and a first down.
Yeah, he can't believe that wasn't a fumble. He thought that was clearly out before the whistle blew or out before the ground made contact, but it'll stay with Centennial. Fortuitous break for Centennial. It'll be a first down with the run.
That Lance Liu total from last week, by the way, 290 for the game. He'll get it again, trying to go off left side, and this time he's peeled back by that edge and that defense up front, led by Evan Feldick.
And there's a fumble, and there was a lot of face mask in there as well, from number 10, Josh Siegler. You mentioned that 290 yards. That was also a school record for a single game for Centennial, 290 yards. No word as to whether or not that was held previously by Director Kenton Kemp. I'm not sure. We have to go back and check on that. Unverified. That's one where maybe Facebook or Twitter has to put one of those,
somebody get that.
Disclaimers on that.
Cummings under center with a second down and long, gives it off the left side, and that's Dan O'Neill winding his way down to the 18-yard line to pick up 3. It'll be a 3rd down and 5 here for the Cougars from just inside the 20. They started this drive at the 35 of St. Michael-Albertville. They scored the last touchdown in this game to even things up after the Knights drove down 80 yards in 9 plays to open the contest. Cougars took 1 play. Lance Nielsen Jr. goes 56 for the score. He hasn't been on the field since after coming up with an injury to the right side, lower body right side. We'll go hockey on it and tell you that about it. Cummings under center. 5 seconds on the play clock. Turns, fakes, wants to throw over the middle, has a man, it's caught! Touchdown, Cougars, Chase Granzo. 13 unanswered for Centennial, and they lead it. That's been a missing element here, Nick, is accuracy in those moments from Dalen Cummings, and he was right on the money that time.
And this was well designed as Granzo was wide open right down the middle, and it was an easy throw for Dalen Cummings as Granzo found some space in the middle right between the linebacking core and the safeties and was able to make the catch and fall backwards into the end zone for the touchdown.
Extra point, Nowoski. Plenty of leg, accurate and good. That's what they call Eli Nowoski. Plenty of leg, and he gets it to go. It's 14-7 Cougars. If they had scored a single touchdown the first time these two teams met on offense, that would have gone a completely different way. Well, now, Nick, they've come out and they've scored 2 on each of their first 2 possessions, and this one well designed and pretty.
Yeah, right there again, Granzo, and he was able to find that open room and The only contact was made after he crossed the end zone line, and he's fired up, as they should be, after not scoring an offensive touchdown in the first matchup between these two. They have scored twice, and they're right around the same number of yards, just 7 minutes and 46 seconds into this one that they were through the entire game the first time, at just 107 yards.
Can't sit back and get too complacent. The best thing they did so far in this first quarter, is we've got just under 4:15 to go, is that 3 and out following their score, right? We talked about it. They would have to score, wanted to stay away from a shootout, but knowing you have to put up offense. And the defense, quick rest, got back out there. Now they'll get another chance.
And the wind hassling the football on the tee there, and the wind is going to play a factor potentially in this game. The wind is a crosswind from right to left, so the team, St. Michael, in this particular situation, is driving into the wind here in the first quarter. Centennial has had the benefit of the wind, but obviously as the game evolves, that's going to change. And so whoever is driving into the wind in the fourth quarter may have a large disadvantage here tonight.
Yeah, Cougars did win that toss, so they got theoretically to set up the wind for themselves here. And rather, the Knights get to go with the wind in the fourth. And right now, Cougars, though, have set themselves up well. It said 15 miles an hour at some points, and looking at the American flag and the Minnesota flag just past the stadium to our left, seems stronger than that. So we will definitely keep an eye on that impact. Lance Nielsen Jr. was up on the sideline, stretching out that injury. He's made his way now to the hip pocket of the coaching staff on the sideline with the defense on the field. We'll see if he gets back out there offensively. They'll run it with Bennett, tries to push his way through. That's Keefe, tries to push his way through the pile. Moves past the 26-yard line. Good pick up on first down. They had 3 big carries that propelled them to that opening drive touchdown. And since then, the Cougars were able to shut things down. 3 straight drives starting at their own 20 on touchbacks. Nielsen Jr., you like seeing him standing up, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good sign. Maybe some extra tape down there. I didn't know how much he had when the game started.
Working it out a little bit.
Neros goes under center. This time it is Bennett, the deep back, trying to go off left side, and he's dragged down immediately by Reese Littlefield before he can find much space. Did pick up positive yardage, but it's third down for this Wayzata Trojans offense. Won their first 2 games of the season, beating Forest Lake handily in the opener. Then the game we've talked about against Centennial, lost by 20 to Wayzata. Came back, beat Blaine 28-0. Those first 2 games, the only time they won back-to-back games all year. Blaine and Champlin Park, the only 2 wins in their final 5 contests of the regular season. Just like the Cougars, though, battle-tested against a very, very tough division. Ball down on the deck again, knocked around, and the Cougars have it. They will get this one. It almost bounced right back to the Trojans again, but instead it was free, and Lance Nielsen Jr. off the bottom of the pile with the recovery. Must be feeling better.
How about that? He comes off the field with a twisted ankle. He comes back on and recovers the fumble on the first play, I believe, that he came back into the game. So there's your sign maybe right now with 2:54 as we watch the replay. This looked like maybe it was going to work out for St. Michael-Albertville. It was a nice play there, actually, by Springer to knock the ball backwards, trying to get it back to the quarterback, or rather Max Kiefer, and he tried to knock it back to Neros, but it ends up in Centennial hands.
Dan O'Neill, space and a stiff arm on his feet. Touchdown, Cougars. Everything coming up, Cougars. The senior, Dan O'Neill, makes his way in for the score from 25 out. Second drive that's been just a play. And the Cougars now have a 2-score lead with just less than 3 minutes to go here in the first quarter.
And this is a pretty amazing turnaround after what we saw in the first drive. A really impressive 9-play drive for a touchdown for St. Michael-Albertville, and they ran it right up the gut and were able to impose their will a bit, but it's been all Centennial here. There's still almost 3 minutes to go in the first quarter, and Centennial now with a 2-score lead, 21-7.
Nowoski goes 3 for 3. It's 21-7, 21 points in a row. And again, Nick, well blocked up front. We said it. I mean, look at that. You've got Ethan Coliseo off the line looking for somebody to block in the open field, 57, middle of your screen. And he got enough of Josh Siegler to free up Dan O'Neill for the scamper and score. They are feeling good in white and red tonight. It didn't start great in those first 9 plays. Thought, oh my goodness, here come the Knights at home. But now it's been all Cougars. They have run just 7 plays offensively to rack up these 3 touchdowns. So much for the 19 points per game that they've averaged coming in, which is second from the bottom of the 16 teams still remaining. Hasn't mattered so far. They've taken advantage of the opportunities. That's a 4th straight kick into the end zone for Eli Nowoski. They'll make St. Michael-Albertville try to go 80 yards, 2:46 to go here in this first quarter. I was coming into this game thinking, all right, Cougars, if they can be in a defensive struggle, if they can hang with them, give themselves a chance late. Did not expect a 21-point first quarter. Just got to say it. I mean, last week they had 7 points in the first half against Eastview, which conceivably should not be as good a defense as St. Michael-Albertville. But today, up front, ready to play and getting it done. Now the defense's turn again. They forced a fumble, forced a 3 and out on the last 2 drives. Nero's under center. Going to pitch it, try to stretch to the outside for Bennett. Bennett taken down. Brady Ivory dragging him down waist high, the senior defensive lineman, edge rusher. Kind of goes back on that linebacking core too. And he was right there bursting on the right side of your screen to come off his block and make the tackle on Bennett.
And you got to think St. Michael-Albertville might be a little shell-shocked here. They had this first drive that was really impressive, and then since then, they've been shut down. They had a 3 and out, and then their next drive, 3 plays on which the 3rd fumbled.
Run it again after a 6-yard carry on first down, 2nd and 4, and it's Keefe. Noses towards the 30, but he's short, so it'll be 3rd down and 1 from the 29-yard line. So you're seeing the steady dose of I've been calling him Kiefer and Bennett. Those 2 in the first time around combined on 28 carries for 142. And Kiefer scored a touchdown. 3rd down and short. Bringing in an extra lineman on the left side to line up as a tight end. It's big number 72, Nick Nielsen. High formation in the pitch that way. Cougars get into the backfield and bring him down back near the 25-yard line. Ivory and company again. Dan O'Neill and Reese Littlefield right at the tip of the sword to get back there and blow things up for the Knights.
And a loss of 4 on the play, and yeah, what an impressive play. One of the plays, Evan Lechner was the player that actually pushed the defender into a position where the running back had to try and go around him, and because of that, that's when Dan O'Neill and company were able to get to him. So Evan Lechner, although wasn't in on the actual tackle, was able to be the one that took the play to the outside to the point where they were able to make the stop for a loss of 4, and the clock stops here with 1:27 as Centennial has taken their first timeout.
Cougars take the timeout here. It'll be a 4th down and 5 at their own 25-yard line, so you would expect a punt coming back up. These 2 teams, well, they've met consistently since St. Michael-Albertville became a 6A program back in 2017. St. Michael has won 4 of the previous 5 meetings, including this year's. The only win for the Cougars came at Centennial High School back in 2019. 7-0 was the final there. Punt formation there again. Punt is a low liner, a dart that dances down at the 45 but will roll back into Cougar territory. So better than the first punt, but still good field position at their own 38 for Centennial. The Bengals taking on Shakopee on the road. That's a 7-2 Sabres team, number 6 in the state, and one of the top scoring teams at 36 points a game. And the Bengals with a Tough task on their hands as well. Same night as their rival Cougars are trying to go on the road and get one more win to get back to the quarterfinals of the state tournament. Still in the first quarter, up 21-7 with the football again. Off the right side, Lance Liu. The only guy who hasn't gotten loose just yet, but he's still a good pickup out to the 42 to pick up 4. Take a look at the Bengal Brackets. They've got Shakopee Anoka, convincing win over Mounds View. They've got a task ahead of them, certainly, and Lakeville South, who's been a top team, if not the top team, all throughout the season. The Tornadoes, though, trying to be the upstart and pull the upset in round number 2. Cummings keeps. He's contacted in the backfield, but continues a strong run out to the 48 and has a first down. Picks up 6. Dalen Cummings. Again, we've talked about it throughout the season. 6'1", 180. The sophomore hasn't put a lot of weight on just yet, but he finishes runs strong. He turns out to be tough to take down. And when he calls his own number, he's rolling. About to cross midfield. Under 30 seconds to go in the first quarter. Cougars have scored on all 3 possessions. 2 of them have started in St. Michael-Albertville territory. O'Neal motions. Cummings tried to keep and just sneak through the middle, and no go in there. He does pick up a yard to the 50, and that's how the quarter will come to a close.
And in the first quarter that St. Michael-Albertville dominated time of possession, Centennial now with 147 first quarter yards. St. Michael-Albertville had 80 on the first drive. They've got 15 yards in the ensuing 3 possessions.
And the Cougars with 80 yards on 2 touchdown runs to help buoy that. Knights got it started. Cougars have had the last laugh so far, and they lead it to the second, 21-7 on North Metro TV. Cougars at St. Michael-Albertville on the road, and we're glad to be out on the road covering this one too. The Cougars have scored the last 21 points after going down 7-0. Dalen Cummings on the keeper, and that time a negative yardage play, so good defense. Titus Johnson, a senior linebacker, knifes his way in there. 60 tackles on the season for Johnson and the Knights. And that will push it back to the 49-yard line, so it'll be third down and 10. As they started the quarter with a 2nd and 9. Just dancing back into their own territory. Cougars started the season, those 2 tight losses. Stillwater, 7-0. They were the number 4 team in the state at that point in the opener. Then the St. Michael game, then won 4 straight, including beating 2 top teams in Maple Grove and Wayzata. And the Cougars let the play clock roll down, and they take a timeout. So they'll use their 2nd timeout of the half. Just didn't like how things were looking right away. And on the 3rd down and long, Cummings already has a long pass today, 1 for 1. And that went to Chase Granzow for 18.
And it is Wayzata leading Stillwater after 1, 7-0.
That's who's waiting. One of those teams will get the winner of this one. It will be a rematch either way, obviously, with all these Metro Gold North teams, St. Michael-Albertville, Wayzata, and Centennial. Either way for the Cougars, a rematch. St. Michael-Albertville did not play Stillwater in any crossover matchups early this year. Stillwater Ponies and Cougars already meeting in another sport as well. As you see that bracket again, that's what's waiting. The early morning tomorrow on the pitch at US Bank Stadium. Cougar girls soccer going for their 2nd state title ever, and the Ponies, who have won 2 state titles back in the 90s, standing in their way. Cummings out from under center, wants to throw quickly, and that one's knocked down. Was that caught? No, it was down to the deck. Good defense by the right hand of Bo Bitzer. The linebacker dropping back in coverage for the Knights. And it'll be a punt formation for the first time for the Cougars as they stall out near midfield, still leading by 2 scores.
Yeah, their first 3 possessions all ended in touchdowns for Centennial. So first time tonight that we will see Chase Grasno averaging right around 39 yards per punt.
Luke Clark made a good effort of making that look like he picked it up off the deck, but it clearly short hopped its way to him. Riley Purcell standing back. High kick. Granzo gets some good hang time on that. He takes a left turn. We'll call that a neutral bounce as it's secured by Jaden Lutz on special teams, the junior linebacker. And now St. Michael-Albertville getting off the field without giving up points for the first time. See if they can take some momentum from that at their own 25.
It's a 25-yard punt with no return, as they will spot the ball at the 26-yard line. And for St. Michael-Albertville, this is the first time tonight they have not started at the 20-yard line. There have been 3 touchbacks, and so they will have their best field position of the night at their own 26.
Last 3 possessions, punt, fumble, punt. This time they'll start it the way they started the game, sprinting to the right side with a ruse, and this time nowhere to go as he runs into Mason Mix off that edge.
And no gain on the play. Centennial has really locked down this St. Michael-Albertville offense. In their last 3 drives, after that 80-yard drive, they've had a drive of 3 yards, 9 yards, and 5 yards. And so they start this drive by being stopped for no gain. This Cougar defense is really locked down after that first drive.
Then it's the deep back, Kiefer. He'll get the carry, running from that right side, offset behind the tailback, and he doesn't have much room to work. Isaiah Ward in the middle, along with Littlefield again. These names have become commonplace on this defense. Up front of Ward and Littlefield and Ivory throughout the season. It's a good unit. It's holding good teams like Maple Grove to just 7 points. Shut out Wayzata, who is a team that, by all was said and done, ended up scoring 26 points a game this year. And now from the 27-yard line, a 3rd and 8 to defend. Narrows drops back. That one complete. And for a first down, Dan O'Neill trying to get over the top of that one to knock it away from Ryland Maynard. When Maynard got the grab, there was nobody to bring him down. He gets the yards after catch and a first down.
That's one of those all or nothing plays. If O'Neill makes that catch, he might have a touchdown going the other way. But once he makes that commitment, it's a wide open catch, and there's going to be some open field behind him.
18-yard pickup on 3rd down and long, so something for the Knights to work with out to midfield. This is where the Cougar drive stalled out. We're showing a little extra pressure, maybe with Lance Nielsen. He'll stay back, drop back as Neros pumps once to throw, coming near side for Purcell, and just out of his reach. Stands here on our side. We're sitting above the St. Michael-Albertville fans. Heaved a little as they saw that one in the air, ready to explode, and Purcell just couldn't haul it in. 2nd down.
And this was a touchdown if this ball isn't overthrown. The wide receiver over the top. And nothing within about 5 yards as we watch the replay as Narrows airs it out. And you can see the space Purcell has. If he makes that catch in stride, there's no way any of those defensive backs are going to catch him. But just a bit overthrown, and now 2nd down and 10.
Purcell the top target, 33 catches for 586 and 5 touchdowns from Neros this year. They'll go back to the pitch and run with ruse into traffic and taken down at the 45-yard line.
That was Granzo putting the stick on once again as Chase Granzo doing it on both sides, catching the touchdown offensively, now making the big stick defensively. Came in with 42 tackles on the season, so right around that 5 tackle mark on the season, and he makes a big one there for just about, well, no gain on the play.
3rd down and long for the 2nd straight 3rd down. Last time it was the 18-yard pickup that Neros flung it out and found Maynard. Cougars will try and turn him away right here. Up by 2 scores. Kiefer's the up back, Bennett the tailback. And that'll be a penalty to lose him 5 yards. Maynard got overexcited, and it will be 3rd and 15 from back at the 40. 2nd penalty of the night, and both have been on the Knights. One on their procedure on a kickoff after their touchdown. And now this one here.
Last week it was Centennial that piled up the penalties, 132 yards of penalties on 11 infractions, but so far the only 2 flags of the game, as you mentioned, have been on St. Michael-Albertville.
Top of the screen.
Yeah, that's not allowed right up there.
Pretty easy to see.
Maybe a career in the Canadian Football League, and he would be all set to go.
He's got to be a couple yards back.
He's got to go way back. Yeah, a few steps behind.
3rd down, clock will start on my seat.
Not sure what that stoppage was. The referee's getting together. So they're going to spin the clock, coming up on 8:45 remaining. Big third down right here. Cougars trying to seize some momentum. 4 linemen, 3 wide receivers, including a tight end off to the left. Nero's to throw. Delays the draw to Bennett. He's taken down. Brady Ivory, Reese Littlefield, unfazed by the delayed draw, and it will be 4th and 12.
Well, you got to give credit to the defense of Centennial. After St. Michael-Albertville gashed them up the middle time and time and time again, there's just been no openings on this defensive line and defensive backfield for Centennial, as they have really shut down the run game for the Knights.
Only thing we're missing in this first half, a kick return. How about it right now for the Cougars? Will Quick back at his 20. Instead, it'll be the punter in trouble. He flings it forward, and the Knights will recover along the sideline. And they're going to get the football back where he went down, right?
That's intentional grounding. That is
grounding at best.
That is all sorts of things that happen when you have the punter rushed on the play. And, you know, as a punter, you want to do your best. You want to do what you think you can do, but only bad things can happen with what just happened there. So that's intentional grounding. It could be illegal touching. It could be all sorts of things there.
The way that came out, he was trying to sell it potentially as a fumble rooski a little bit.
Yeah.
But he definitely tried to pitch that forward. Nobody home. Officials do throw the flag and now getting together. Seldom seen intentional grounding on the punter on 4th down, so the loss of down doesn't matter, except it officially ends the possession. Now they're going to go talk to Coach Diggins. These guys got all kinds of pressure back there, made them unsettled. And now get to be the beneficiaries of great field position no matter how this sorts out.
And regardless of what happens here, Centennial is going to have magnificent field position here. The flag is at the 32-yard line, so they'll either have it at the 27 or the 22, likely.
He seemed to be tiptoeing the 30-yard line basically as he tried to bail out of there.
We'll watch the replay again, and good rush here. The tag team duo of Dan O'Neill and Lance Nielsen Jr. coming in. And, well, you know, I wonder.
They think he was down?
He looked on the replay that maybe he was down before he let go of that football. Of course, the referees don't have the ability to see that, and so there will be a flag on this. But it looked on the replay that maybe the punter was down, and that's where the ball should be spotted, but it appears that there is going to be a penalty on the play. And we'll get the call now. They're going to, well, it looks like they're going to decline the penalty. Unless there are multiple penalties here.
A lot to sort out. Cougars scored 3 touchdowns in the first quarter of this one.
All right, there's no flag on the play. There was ruled an eligible receiver receiving the pass, so the play is an incomplete pass. The ball will turn over and down. Centennial football, first and 10.
Well, that certainly changes the field position. They say there was an eligible receiver, so it's just incomplete. And so instead, the 30-yard line, at the 30-yard line, they're going to get the football back close to the 45 at the 43. So it does change the field position, but still positive territory to start a drive yet again for the Cougars.
Well, and that's actually about as bad of a situation as Centennial could have possibly had to happen, as they ruled a receiver was eligible.
Getting Lance Liu moving left to right, bounced into his blocker, but still tumbles his way to the 40-yard line to pick up 3 on first down.
I guess my question is, there had to be about 6 other linemen that were downfield ineligible, and so you have illegal men downfield all over the place.
So you should at least get that yardage.
And so there should have been a penalty for that at least, but
that would probably involve a re-kick, though, so maybe they would have declined that anyway, but that would have been something he would have had to say. All kinds of craziness. Cougars could have had better field position.
Yeah, at the end of the day,
you're right. Still good. You didn't have the punts, but not the best that it could have been for the Cougars. Lance Liu again, this time going off guard, and he pushes inside the 40 to the 38.
All right, so let's see. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I saw 6 of them.
And I'm not really sure who eligible was around that.
Well, so yeah, and once he throws the pass, you can't have ineligible people downfield. You can't have a lineman on third down and the quarterback throwing. So once the punter becomes a thrower, a passer, and he starts to run outside the pocket, he is now a passer. And once he throws that pass, those linemen are all ineligible, all of them.
Cougars sprint to the line here, got set, give it to Dan O'Neill, who has space. O'Neill gone again, dives, and he's down at the 1-yard line. Dan O'Neill Jr., the Cougars getting all sorts of trickies, sprinting to the line of scrimmage, managed to get set, and Dan O'Neill takes it 37 yards down to the 1.
And Centennial is just doing everything right. I mean, everything that they do, and that should have been a touchdown there.
I don't know how
he got tripped up. He is not down there. He's not down there unless the ball, it looked like the ball was actually down by his hip. And so when he actually comes down, as we watch, the ball is actually down in the, he's pinning it down there. So
he didn't ever stretch it. They got one of 2 of these as Lance Lou will burst his way into the end zone for the score. And for the 9th time this season, Lou punches it in, and the Cougars again score to tally up 27 straight points.
And a 4-play, 43-yard drive. Lance Lou picks up the score on the 1-yard play, and 28-7. And I mean, of all the things that you thought could happen tonight, and especially after that first drive, I don't think anybody saw this coming.
Not like this. You give the Cougars a shot, they defend well, they can roll on offense if they're blocking up front. Eli Nowaski is 4 for 4, but 28-7 on the road against the Knights. Not exactly how you thought it would go, but credit the Cougars, they are getting it done.
Now, if you ask the coaching staffs for Centennial, you'd say, well, this is exactly how we drew it up. We expected to do this. As you watch here, Lance Lou just plowing up the middle for the touchdown.
Lives for those, right?
Absolutely.
1 yard?
Yeah.
Give me a break. That's Lance Lou territory.
Give it to O'Neill, have him do all the work, and then, here, I need mine. I need the touchdown run.
Yeah, he got his yards last week. 3 carries of 50-plus, 290 for the school record. At that time, it's the cloud of pellets and a 1-yard touchdown drive. Student section happy. Ski patrol out there, huh? All right. Bringing the goggles. Again, there'd be a lot of second round games in years past where you need all that, right? It'd be frigid, especially with the wind blowing. Not so much tonight. It's crisp, as this one's picked up on a bouncing kick by Maynard. Makes his way to the opposite side of the field before he's driven out of bounds just past the 30-yard line. So they called for the squib kick that time for the first time, and it'll be better field position for St. Michael-Albertville, their best starting field position of the game at the 34-yard line. There have been moments, Nick, in this game where the Cougars could have potentially allowed St. Michael-Albertville to take some momentum back. And every single time, the Cougars have found a way to not allow that to happen.
Well, and what's amazing about this Centennial start, and we'll call it a start because we're only halfway through the second quarter, is that they've only had the ball for 6 minutes and 43 seconds of this game, and yet they have a 3-touchdown lead.
Bennett down again after a short gain. Stretches it just past the 37. So he picks up 3. Reese Littlefield in the middle again. The first drive looked like the St. Michael team you expected. Big runs, setting themselves up and scoring the touchdown on an 80-yard drive. But since then, the Cougars have been stiff up front. Nero's play fake, throws it short, bobbled, and incomplete. Purcell never got the hands underneath it, and it's 3rd down. And
another 3rd down and long coming up for St. Michael-Albertville. to be honest, the best that they've played is when they've been able to throw the ball a little bit here on these drives. They did complete an 18-yard pass on the last drive, but they haven't been able to do much on the ground at all. And so, might as well try something different. It's not necessarily their bread and butter, but running is not working right now, and so they might have to resort to something that they're not quite as good at, which is passing the football.
3rd and a long 6. Nero's clean pocket, long time, gets it down the field, and it is knocked away. It was in the hands of Purcell, and then Dan O'Neill doing more work, and he bats it away for a 4th down.
And Dan O'Neill is having probably the game of his life right now. I mean, he's played well this season. Defensively, 21 tackles. Offensively, he came in 22 carries for 111 yards on the season. Still doesn't have a touchdown yet. And then 3 catches for 7 yards. But he has been a whale of a player here so far for Centennial tonight.
Punt again. This one gets away, and it's a good one. Will Quick will let it go. It does take a Cougar bounce and stops where it lands, just inside the 20. That's a good one, though. Down to the 16-yard line will they'll mark it. And you see the play again. Nero's plenty of time. Lets it go just as Granzo gets there. With 40 applying the pressure, 4 knocks it away.
And that's a 47-yard punt with no return. So a good punt for Centennial, or St. Michael-Albertville. And so Centennial will have the football. This is their worst field position of the day, their own 17-yard line here with 5:10 remaining in the first half. And if Centennial could have one more long drive here, they could kind of run out the clock here in this first half.
But that's exactly what this is built for, right? A long Cougar drive, and they'll start with Lance Liu bursting his way to the 20-yard line.
Well, and what's funny is throughout the year, and I've called several games for Centennial as of you, I've talked a lot about how this is not a big play offense, and this offense is designed to 3 yards, 4 yards at a time and grind out the clock. Well, they haven't done any of that tonight, and everything has worked for them. So, we could see another long run here by Liu or Nielsen or O'Neill. Who knows what's going to happen?
It'll be O'Neill on the edge, trying to set up that blocking, and is not there that time. Blown up in the backfield by Zach Ewer, senior defensive lineman for the Knights. They say no gain, back to the 20. So it'll be 3rd down and 7. Yeah, it was the theme last week, too. Those big runs in the second half by Lance Liu to put that game away. And now the big scampers here in the first half of this one. Clock continues to spin, coming up towards 4 minutes remaining. Big 3rd down to try and keep this drive alive. They do get the football to start the second half. You start to think, keep away, clock is your friend. Up by these 3 scores right now. Cougars have 1 timeout, and they're making to use it right now as they let the play clock dribble all the way down. And they are. I mean, they're playing the possession game. They're playing the clock already. They've done the work to get up by 3 scores. Coach Diggins takes his 3rd timeout. They let everything they could soak off the clock before they have this 3rd down and 7. Quick recap of those scores. Opening drive, 9 plays, 80 yards for the Knights. That, their last ray of sunshine so far in this game. Cougars came back 1 play later, 56 yards for Lance Nielsen Jr. to tie the game at 7 on the Nowoski PAT. Forced a punt on a 3-and-out. Kept the momentum. 5-play, 35-yard drive pass from Dalen Cummings from Chase Granzo. 18 yards for the score. Then forced a fumble with that defense. Came back another 1-play drive. That was Dan O'Neill from 25 out. Forced a punt, punted it themselves. And then Lance Liu capped off a 4-play, 43-yard drive that included a 37-yard run from Dan O'Neill. Dalen Cummings wants to throw on a 3rd down and 7, has a man near side, and he just underthrew him. Trying to come back to the near side to Riley Dougherty. It'll be a punt time again for Granzo with just under 4 minutes to go in this first half. So the last 2, after hitting that pass to Granzo, 1 for 3 now for Dalen Cummings. Still just a sophomore, a lot to work with. We were talking a little bit before the game about there have been passing quarterbacks that Coach Diggins has turned to in this Centennial offense in years past, and Cummings has got a chance to work into that. A lot of development to be had from his own 10. Granzo puts his foot into it, into the wind, knocks it down, but gets a great bounce. Got an extra 7 yards on that bounce out to the 45-yard line as that ball went up and stopped with this wind.
Yeah, another 25-yard punt. And you can see how difficult it is. We've talked about the wind a few times, and the difference between St. Michael-Albertville, who's able to boot at 47 yards with the wind, and then, punting it really into the wind, that sand wedge that goes straight up and comes straight down, 25 yards there. So St. Michael-Albertville will have by far their first best field position of the day at the Centennial 45-yard line here with 3:35 to go in the first half.
It's Kiefer off the right side. Can't get going. Gains 2. Reese Littlefield, Mason Mix, up off the bottom of the pile, clapping his hands. Defense remains fired up. Ball noses to the 42-yard line. 43-yard line, excuse me. 2nd down and 8. Neither one of those guys really getting going after that first drive.
And this is a huge drive here for St. Michael-Albertville. If they could get in the end zone and make this a 28-7 game. Remember, Centennial's going to get the ball to start the second half. So if they don't score here, Centennial's got a chance to really open things up in the second half.
Bennett trying to get in the air over the blocking that was blown up by Isaiah Ward. And he was wrapped up by Mason Mix, who brought him down. Only problem with that was they all fell on Reese Littlefield, who was a little slow to get up, but does hop up at the 41-yard line. Another gain of 2 and another 3rd down. Clock running. 2:40 and counting. Nero's to the line. 3rd down situations have been throwing down so far. This one, a 3rd and 6. He'll throw it again. Short and a 1st down as he hit his tight end, Fosberg, off the right side. And the chains will move. The drive will continue to push us under 2:20. 8-yard pickup. Needed 6. Nero's, told you early, 57% on the completion percentage. 7 touchdowns, just 4 interceptions.
It's only the second play of 5 or more yards since that initial drive of the game for St. Michael-Albertville. Just not a lot.
Trying to spin to a seam and can't do it. Brady Ivory, Chase Granzo in the backfield. And he's back to the line of scrimmage for no gain. Timeout going to be taken by the Knights. They've got 3 remaining as we're under 2 minutes to go. Cougars no timeouts to try and prolong this half if they would even want to, which they certainly don't. But the Knights trying to put points on the board, knowing the Cougars have a possession in hand. 4 wins in 5 meetings for the Knights as 6A teams. 3 of those 5 have been decided by just a single possession. St. Michael-Albertville winning big in the other 2, and the Cougars have never, in that era of 5A, of 6A on 6A, won here at St. Michael-Albertville. Always have to hedge, right, Nick? I mean, our records don't go really far enough back to speak definitively. But I just can't imagine that the Cougars would have played St. Michael-Albertville for any reason before St. Michael-Albertville was a 6A team. Bill Hupp checking in at half, and the Bengals have a lead in a low-scoring game. A team in Shakopee that averages 36 points a game. The Bengals have held them to 7 and lead that game 10-7. My word.
We also have a score at half. Wayzata still leading Stillwater 7-0.
2nd down and 10. Out of the timeout, Neros will pitch it to Kiefer, running with it, and he spins his way down inside the 30 to the 29-yard line. So it's 3rd down. The 29-yard line. Clock continues to run here. 3rd down and 5. They've got 2 timeouts in their pockets to try and save here. Nero's directing traffic as he'll send Kiefer out of the backfield. Same motioning there with Bennett. Now Kiefer in motion. And a timeout eventually taken by the Knights. Didn't like the look of that, trying to hurry up. It cost him some time with 1:16 to go here in this half.
Well, and this is probably 4-down territory for St. Michael-Albertville regardless. 1:16 to go. And so this is one of those plays. Again, we are at the precipice of the end of the season potentially for St. Michael-Albertville if they don't start getting their offense in gear. So this two-play segment, we'll call it, because I believe they would go for it on 4th down. They have to have a couple of plays in their pocket right now that they know they can get that first down. With that said, there's only 1 minute and 16 seconds to go, so you'd like to conserve some energy there as well and pick up the first down here and continue to move the sticks. That's been a challenge even as well. We talk about the yardage. It just hasn't been there. 80 yards on the first drive, and then they've only had 39 yards in their ensuing 5 drives, not counting this one. And so it just hasn't been there offensively. Centennial, meanwhile, 190 yards of offense, which is pretty good, but you consider their field position. I mean, they've been able to do things very efficiently. And so this is a scenario where St. Michael-Albertville, with Centennial getting the football to start the third quarter, and I'm guessing Centennial will have the win behind them in the third quarter as well, just based on how things work. This is a paramount situation here for St. Michael-Albertville.
It's a 3rd down and officially 5. Looks like a rather long 5. Neros wants to throw. Near side has a man wide open, and it's complete to Purcell. Cougars do rally to the football inside the 20-yard line. And that was Nielsen Jr. able to make the tackle. He's helped up by Alex Markgraf.
And the clock does run. It'll be under a minute before the next play ensues for the Knights.
First and 10, they'll run it with Bennett bouncing off of tacklers and blockers before he's swallowed up in the arms of Evan Lechner at the 11. So short of first down yardage, but he picks up 9.
And quickly to the line now with 39 seconds.
Bennett again, this time stonewalled right as he noses past the 10. And that will force the final timeout to be taken by the Knights. Are they moving the sticks here? It's awful close.
Based on where the far side judge is, I believe they should move the sticks, but we'll see where the ball is placed. And it will be a first down.
It is a first down, so it's goal to go from just inside the 10-yard line. Knights, 11th year head coach Jared Essler, who was a 2-sport athlete at North Dakota State, running track. He was a defensive back for the Bison and also was running relays at an all-conference level back in the early 2000s. Wanted to make sure he got that timeout in there. Final one they have, so they've got to be efficient here with just 30 seconds to work. Try and put points on the board. Field goal options for the offense of St. Michael-Albertville. They are 2 of 2 with Purcell, their wide receiver and field goal kicker. So if it's positive yardage and they decide that's the route to go to get points, could be an option here inside the 10.
His 37-yard field goal came against Centennial in that 1916 victory.
Fake the give. Neros running for his life. Dumps it out. Has Kiefer. Made a man miss, and then he's brought down rudely at the 5-yard line. Good rally from Mason Mix.
And they got to hurry. They're down to 16 seconds and counting.
Dan O'Neill finished off that play. Neros will back up and spike it, and that'll stop the clock with 11 seconds on the game clock here on the big board in the stadium.
I'm not exactly sure where Kiefer came from. I thought that ball was being thrown away to get rid of it. If you watch here, Neros is in big trouble here, as big pressure, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, here comes Kiefer to make the catch.
He was blocking on this right side, snuck his way through, and yeah, I don't know that Neros knew he was going to be there.
No.
Kiefer got it done, so final 11 seconds here. Neros to fade to the end zone and caught by Purcell. Big time play for the Knights with time winding close to gone. And Neros puts it up where Purcell can go get it. And the wideout has his 6th score of the season. And a little life, a little more sunshine for the Knights to close the half.
That was a really impressive and really necessary drive for St. Michael-Albertville. 11 plays, 45 yards. Remember, they got the football in plus territory at the 45-yard line, and they took advantage of it, and the Knights are not out of it quite yet.
3:31 to go down there and do it. Purcell's kick is up and good, and so it will be 14 points. We do have to work this kickoff. 14-point lead for the Cougars. They do get the football to start the second half. They should get a kickoff at least here as you see this throw from Neros. He's missed a couple wide open receivers that could have been big scores. Does not miss this one. And Purcell goes and gets it just past the outstretched fingertips of Will Quick.
Yeah, really efficient. 11 plays, 3 minutes and 29 seconds. And they leave just 6.6 on the board for Centennial. So this will be a kickoff, and either the clock will run out or Centennial will down the football, unless we've had crazy things that have happened in this game. So shouldn't discount the possibility of something crazy happening here at the end. But aside from that, this should be the halftime score.
Maverick Harper back with Will Quick. Harper family with maybe a couple of interested eyes towards two Cougar matchups over the next 2 days. Of course, with the former Cougar Kaya Harper and her former teammates going for that state title on the girls' soccer side tomorrow morning. And now Mav in the squad. Trying to pull an upset on the road. It's a 2-3. They have the same record, but whenever you have to go on the road, I feel like at this point in the season, Nick, you win, and that's an upset. Very few cases is that not true. And I think just the way things had gone in that first matchup, the Cougars putting themselves in a great position to do just that, pull the upset on the road. Looks like a kneel down to the half. They'll retire to their team rooms underneath the stands here at St. Michael-Albertville, and the Cougars will do it off still a dominant first half. 28-14, led it by as many as 21. A late score from the Knights gives them a little lift. Cougars a chance to get it back when we come back in half number 2. Cougars 28, Knights 14. A berth in the quarterfinals of the state tournament on the line with another half of play next on North Metro TV. We're all here at St. Michael-Albertville High School, 28-14. The Cougars with the lead at the half, led by as many as 21 before a late touchdown from the Knights to close the half. And this one got started. It was all St. Michael-Albertville on an 80-yard drive, finished off with this 32-yard touchdown with a 32-yard touchdown run from Jared Bennett. There it is, right down the seam, breaks the tape, and you're thinking, Knights all the way. Cougars got a good kick return from Will Quick, would set themselves up at the 44-yard line. One play was all it took to answer that man in motion. Lance Nielsen Jr. from the logo to the house. There he goes. Made a man miss late. He did come up limping, came back in the game, so that was the good news. Extra point made it 7-7. Next drive, over the middle for 18. Dalen Cummings to Chase Granzo for the score. The Cougars are up a touchdown. Fumble forced by the defense, recovered by the just back in the game, Lance Nielsen Jr. Cougars, one more, one play drive. This time, Daniel O'Neill. He takes it in from 25 yards out for the score, and it's a 2-touchdown lead for Centennial. That was all in the first quarter. You go to the second quarter. More Dan O'Neill. He comes up a yard short of another big rushing touchdown. 37 yards in the scamper down at the 1. He looked at it and he just didn't get the ball stretched down to the pylon that time. Lance Lew's got him covered. Dives in from 1 yard out for the score. That one made it 28-7. Then late, Owen Neros fading to the back of the end zone. Hit his man, Riley Purcell, for the score to set us at 28-14. Even with that, Nick, All signs good for the Cougars at this point. They get the football to start the second half. Have to be feeling good about the way they executed in this game so far.
Yeah, absolutely. You look at the stats. We talked about how that first game, the stats kind of belittled the game. And actually, you look at the stats again, and it kind of belittles the way that this game has gone as well. Centennial on the half, 189 yards overall. St. Michael-Albertville was able to close that gap with that 45-yard drive to finish the half. They have 164 yards at the half, but time of possession, St. Michael-Albertville, 16 minutes and 10 seconds of possession. Centennial just 7 minutes and 50 seconds, but they've been the team of the big plays, they've been the team of the short fields, and they've been the team of opportunity, and that's why they're up by 2 touchdowns at half.
Both our football teams still remaining had the opportunity to get big road wins. Both up at the half. Bengals lead Shakopee 10-7 on the road. Cougars lead the Knights 28-14 on the road. Back with the second half after this right here on North Metro TV.
Logan Coons will kick off for the Knights.
28-14 at the half. J.W. Cox, Nick Walsh at St. Michael-Albertville High School. And the Cougars with the lead, and now a whistle here to blow this one to a stop. That's how the first Knights kickoff after they had scored a touchdown went. Gave the Cougars great field position. They're up by 2 scores. They've led by as many as 3. And now a penalty again, second time tonight on the kickoff. Bengals leading 10-7 at the half. Not a penalty. They were just not set. So nobody was ready to go. So we'll do it again. Same spot, no time off the clock. Maverick Harper, Will Quick standing back at the 6 to open up half number 2. Berth in the quarterfinals on the line. Now one angles its way towards Quick, taken at the 2. Got a block from Harper, knifes through the first line and tumbles his way out to the 34-yard line. They might nose the football to the 35 and a good return. 25-plus yards, and we were talking just a second ago, Nick, this is a very crucial possession. Momentum interrupted by the half, but certainly with that late touchdown, the Knights have shown that they've got the ability to get back in this game if the Cougars don't take care of business.
Yeah, and Centennial will be driving into the wind here in this third quarter, so they will have the advantage in the fourth quarter on that, but this is a pretty important drive because St. Michael-Albertville certainly went into the locker room with the momentum, getting that second touchdown, and Centennial's got a counter here.
Dalen Cummings give it late around the right side, around to the left, from the right to Dan O'Neill, and he'll push the football to the 39-yard line. And the biggest thing is, with that wind in your face, as we saw late in the half, you don't want to be forced into a punting situation because that's a house of horrors once the ball gets up into the air. Too much wind to stop it. Granzo's had to deal with that. And that helped the short field on that last touchdown drive for the Knights. It set us at a 2-possession game. So short pickup on first down of 4 yards, second down and 6 for Cummings and company. Single wide receiver split out to the left. No change there. O'Neill in motion. He's the pitch man. He's got it off his right shoulder pad. He brings on some contact, and he's taken down on the edge by Mason Mogard, who made a solid tackle in space. And then one of the Knights is down. That looks like Jared Bennett playing both ways as a defensive back.
That would not be good news for St. Michael-Albertville. Bennett, a senior defensive back, as well as the running back, and he is certainly in some pain. 23 tackles on the season coming into tonight, but he appears, if I were to guess, and I'm not a doctor, I don't play one on TV, but this looks to me like maybe a shoulder injury to me.
Oof. It was a solid point of contact here. Both players seem to be given as good as they got there. Kind of unstoppable force, immovable object. Everybody halts as Dan O'Neill came off the edge. So running up, maybe the wind knocked out. Could be the best outcome potentially. 2 hands above the head. That would seem to be good news for the shoulder front.
See, that's why I don't play a doctor on TV,
right,
because I obviously missed that one.
Third down and short. Cougars live for this to try and pick these short yardage situations up and keep the drive alive. First drive of the second half. Need to do it. Lance Lou, and he's got it. Good first burst off that left side of the line. That's the territory of Isaiah Ward at the tackle spot. And Marco V at the guard spot. The center Logan Palmstein in on the mix too. And that's exactly the formula here, Nick. Long drive, pick up those chunks on first and second, and finish it off on third down. They're out to the 47. Clock is their friend. Nielsen Jr. had the first big blow in this game, a 56-yard touchdown run. First time a Cougar offensive player touched the football. Pitch alive, Cummings keeps it. He'll get something, but that was closed down rather quickly, led by Bo Bitzer. Senior linebacker helps bring down Cummings at the 50. Positive yardage, 3-yard gain, second down and 7.
This is what I would say this Centennial team is traditionally designed to do. 3, 4, 5 yards a carry. Don't lose yardage very often. Just keep pushing the ball forward, keeping the clock running, and keeping the yardage churning.
Dalen Cummings tasked with making the right choices here. Leading that offense. Maybe pressure coming in. Who jumps? Looked like encroachment as the Cougars seem to stay pretty solid.
Yeah, that's going to be defense. Both side judges came across and they were saying the same thing, and now head coach Jared Essler, meanwhile, doesn't agree. And the near side judge turned around and
well, they were.
Said, what do you want from me?
They were stunting in there, as that's the third penalty of the night on the Knights. Just the Cougars penalty-free to this point.
Yeah.
Did I miss one?
They are not. They are penalty-free tonight.
That's a big part of coming on the road and getting a playoff win. It's second down and 2 now after the penalty. We're trying to show some pressure and jam up on the line of scrimmage, and it bit them coming across. Nielsen Jr. fakes his way across. Lou offset to the left. Cummings patient. Cummings sprints ahead, has the first down. Dragged down after a couple of extra yards to the 41. Tackle made by Jake Springer.
Dalen Cummings, Walker.
Picks up 4.
Tackle by Jake Springer.
First down, clock spinning, under 9:20 remaining. You can't win it right here. You can't put it away right here, but you salt away half of the third quarter and come away with points to go up by 3 scores. It does start you down that road of one more possession, one more big score, putting things out of reach.
Especially if you can churn 6-7 minutes off the clock in the process.
Riley Dowdy's the wide receiver to the left. I formation. Cummings keeps. Pitches late. Nielsen Jr. lost the football. Recovered by the Knights. Reven Simat on the near sideline. The last thing you could do. And now the Cougars in a tough spot, up 2. But good field position for this Knights offense, and the defense needs to pick them up.
Yeah, and that's the main issue. That was a short side pitch, and he got shipped, and you can see there, it looks like St. Michael-Albertville. The question was whether or not he was in bounds when he touched it, and it looked like the feet came down out of bounds, but after he made contact with the football. And so here's St. Michael-Albertville going deep.
Nero wants to throw big, and it's incomplete. There's no laundry. Is there? He made the catch. Excuse me, he made the catch. And a big, big shot on first down to the 26-yard line. 37-yard pickup. You see him flashing across the screen. And down to the deck with it and secured the hands underneath. Run it. Off that right side. I believe that was Bennett back in there as they help him up, so that's good to see from an injury standpoint for the Knights. Pushes it inside the 25-yard line before Lechner brings him down. So the Knights trying to come back with back-to-back scores of themselves on either side of the half. Pitch it. Lead blocker Kiefer. Bennett steps inside a defender and bounces off Lechner and scores. What a turn of the tide here. And now the Cougars with just a 1-possession lead. And an extra point pending. His second touchdown of the game. This one from 24 out to match his 34-yard score in the first half.
We talked about it. You can start to feel the momentum here continuing to shift. They got the late touchdown, gave them confidence, and then the fumble, and right down the field, 3 plays, 63 yards, and only 53 seconds to get that score to pull to within 7.
Extra point is good.
Once again, that was
And we've got ourselves a ball game. 2 straight touchdowns on 2 straight possessions, aided by the Cougar fumble. And it's 28-21. This is what started it. They say possession there for Samat. And in this one, Bennett bouncing, Bennett stiff-arming. And he was able to push Lechner away. And it's a 1-possession game. Knight's not going anywhere.
And if you thought the last possession for Centennial was important, this one even more so, because every possession now could be the one that if you give up the football, you also give up the lead on. So Centennial has to regroup at this point. I mean, they didn't exactly do anything wrong in the first half. It's just that St. Michael-Albertville had the ball last and was score. In this half, they did make the first mistake.
Maverick Harper trying to wind his way up the field. He draws some contact with a flag down. He pushed out to the 35-yard line, but the field position likely to be worse than that on a flag right there. And it's a hold. Oh,
Defensive holding.
pointed defense. Oh, no.
Yep, there we go.
That wasn't offsetting, right? He just pointed the wrong way the first time.
blocking back penalty against the Cougars. Returning the kick.
So it will be a penalty, the first of the game on Centennial. Change the field position. It will be.
It was called at the 24-yard line, so this will be
At the 14.
well, they said they called it at the 29-yard line, I guess, so it's a 5-yard. Well, they're going to walk
There we
it back
go.
now.
Oh, the sticks were set.
Yeah.
And there we go. So it is where the sticks are. Oh, is it not? I don't know. Who knows?
There we go.
There we go.
So we'll be back at the right around the 15-yard line.
You can see it there. Got Avery Shindezelos over-aggressive grabbing the jersey. So from the 14 with 7:41 remaining in the third quarter. Cougars need a drive and a score right now. They'll start with Dan O'Neill. And now it's a fired-up St. Michael-Albertville front that stops O'Neill right in the hole. Brooks O'Brien in on the stop from his defensive end spot. And going 2 ways,
O'Neill, the ball carrier.
Evan Feldick made the stop.
Boy, and it felt like Centennial was doing what they needed to do. Potentially, another score would have made it 35-14, and they would have been much more comfortable. And all of a sudden, within a minute, the tides have really shifted at this point.
2nd down and 9. Remember, the wind is howling back in their face. This is a big, big down right here to at least give themselves a chance on third. 4 linemen, hands on the ground. Bouncing pressure from the next level. O'Neill in motion. Cummings gives it to Lance Liu. Not much there. Maybe to the 19. So it'll be a 3rd down and 6.
And when Centennial is playing their best football, when they have 3rd downs, they're leaving themselves no more than 3rd down and 3. So this is not the scenario that they want to be in, especially as this game gets tighter, because they're going to have to potentially throw the football, and that is not their forte.
Remember, though, those big plays they had in the first half did come in the run game. Well blocked, well executed. They can pop them big. They need one here. Dan O'Neill to the left side. Doesn't have the blocking. He's past the 20, but well short at the 21-yard line. Picks up 2, needed 6. It's 4th and 4. Punt unit coming on. And everything trending blue and gold now here at St. Michael-Albertville in a 1-possession game. Likely a short field with the wind howling.
Yeah, there hasn't been a punt of more than 25 yards into this wind all night. And so St. Michael-Albertville should get very advantageous field position here.
Granzo from the 11 as he steps his foot into it. And again, just tough to get anything in the air. He's gotten good bounces as this one's going to roll close to midfield. So he made the most out of it to the 50-yard line. And that's where the Knights in a 1-possession game will start with the football. 5.5 minutes to go here in this third quarter. Here they come, all the momentum. Wearing blue and gold right now. They've scored the last 2 touchdowns. They'll run it with Kiefer with space. To the edge, cuts back, and the Cougars will drag him down at the 15-yard line. And Kiefer's got him fired up on the near side. Lance Nielsen Jr. saved a touchdown on the run of 35.
It's like we're watching 3 different games here. The first game was the first possession of the game for St. Michael-Albertville. The second game was Centennial throughout most of the second half. And then our third game has been everything from the last possession of the first half until now.
Bennett hits the hole, and he's dragged down there by Reese Littlefield. At the 11 after a pickup of 3. They can pick up a first down just inside the 5-yard line at the 4. Cougars need something positive to happen here. For the Knights, moments ago, it was the fumble on that opening drive that had moved into Knights territory. That gave them the life to get back to a 1-possession game. Now the Cougars trying to keep the lead, need something on defense. Bennett hitting the hole, rocked backwards. Immediate tackle made by Littlefield in the middle again.
Once again, tackled by Reese
at the 10, so it's a gain of 1. And it will be 3rd down and 6. Matt Lechner's firing his guys up there. 7 in white, trying to drive this team to a big 3rd down stop and make the Knights think about something on 4th down. Kiefer is the lone tailback. Nero's to throw. Looking near side all the way. Keeps it. And now he'll just throw it away, and the Cougars defend it well on 3rd down. It's 4th and 6. Great coverage. Quick back there. Newdall back there as they tried to find the left half of the end zone.
And this would be a 27-yard field goal.
With the wind.
With the wind, and Purcell, as we mentioned before, 2 of 2 on the season, has a long of 37.
The wind appears, for the most part, to be right at his back, right? So he's not dealing with anything across his face. So it should be all help. Cougars trying to time it and get in there. Nero's the holder. Kick is up. The kick is good. So points off of that second possession of the half. The field goal of 27 yards is true for Purcell, his 3rd of the season.
4 plays, 39-yard drive, culminating with the Purcell 27-yard field goal. And so Centennial's lead holds, but just barely now at 28-24.
So a 10-0 second half for the Knights. You'll call that a win, though, for the Cougars defense, standing up inside the 15-yard line. Didn't let them get to goal to go on that first down that they needed at the 4. Held them to 3 points. You've still got the lead. Another chance to get the momentum back. And just for 3:57 do you have to deal with this win. Honestly, the Cougars hope it never comes into play, because really it's just affecting the kicking game. And all things going well, the Cougars don't have to worry about the kicking game one way or the other. Low liner, quick in the right shoulder pad from the 5. Looking for his hole. He spun down at the 25-yard line.
Well, and if you're the optimist, you look at the clock and you say 3:51. If Centennial can hold the lead through this next 3:51, St. Michael-Albertville would have to drive into the wind into the 4th quarter, which could be a factor. But the way St. Michael-Albertville is playing, you've got to find a way to break this momentum. Whether it's a long play, a touchdown, what have you, you've got to find a way to break up this momentum. And Centennial, since the half, they've had a six-play drive that they fumbled and a 3-and-out. So they have to find a way to somehow take this momentum back.
Run it with O'Neal trying to get to the edge, and it's just not there. St. Michael-Albertville has made the adjustments. The edge was open all throughout that first half. Able to get those big plays left and right. And that time O'Neal just picks up 1 to the 26. Have to stay on schedule, and so far didn't do it. It's 2nd down and 9. Crafty to the coaches to our right. Get in the play calling here. Fake it, roll out Cummings. Wants to throw. has a man into traffic, tipped and incomplete. That was bobbled tantalizingly there for Josh Siegler, and he could not pick it up.
And this is a really interesting call based on the fact that Centennial is driving into the wind as that one is just floated up, and you're just playing with fire, and oh boy, by the slimmest of margins was that ball on the ground. It looked like he had come up with it, and then the ball hit the ground and slid underneath him. Centennial very fortunate to have the football on third down.
3rd down and 9. Clock stop, 3:10. Cummings, late draw for Lou. Can't make the first man miss. Blown up by Xavier Peltoma. It'll be 4th and long and another punt situation with just under 3 minutes to go. Here in the 3rd quarter, Cougars up by 4.
And not only a punt, but another punt into the wind. So another short field coming up here for St. Michael-Albertville. If they had been able to run a few plays to the point where they could have flipped the field at least, they could have punted with the wind, but yet another punt into the wind here for Centennial.
Granzo's tired of that. He put the last one down at the 50. This one, a little more in the air, but it still dies. Not quite as good of a bounce, and it's downed by his long snapper, Palmstein, at the 46.
And a 21-yard punt without a return there for Centennial. So just not any ability to get a drive into this wind here. And so another short field. St. Michael-Albertville will be in positive territory at the 46-yard line.
Cougars up against it. The 3rd quarter has not been their quarter, to say the least. Knights have 10 points. Cougars shut out in short drives and a fumble. Kiefer tries to slip off the edge. That time Lechner's there for the tackle. Right around the 45 for a pickup of 1. I like the clock rolling on this side too. Second down and 9. Trying to win back-to-back games, these Knights, for the first time since their opening 2 games of the season. They'll pitch it to Kiefer, wants to throw. Has a man in coverage, it's caught. Forsberg at the 25. Coaching staff thought he bobbled. The guys in stripes say he caught it. 1st down and 10 at the Cougar 25 on a pickup of 20.
You could see that develop. It was a slow developing play as Kiefer drops back, and then the toss there. Well, looked like he secured it. I can see where the coaching staff may have thought he bobbled it, but you watch the initial bobble, but he keeps the hands under the ball and makes the reception.
Udall just couldn't knock it away. Nero's pressured, throws it, caught again, and still absorbing contact. Rylan Maynard winds his way down to the 16-yard line. So he picks up 9. 2nd down and 1. Minute 5 remaining and spinning here. Cougars need a turnover at this point. The defense a little back on their heels. Couple of big plays. Still trying to get that pressure up front. See the run from Bennett. He's tumbling as he hits the hole, but he's got the 1st down. Littlefield and Mix trip him up. All he needed was 1. He got 1.5. Down to the 14.
What's amazing here is St. Michael-Albertville hasn't had the ball all that much here in the second half. They've just had such good field position that they've been able to score fairly quickly on each of their drives. And this drive here at about 2 minutes right now.
Cougars came into the half up by 14. Kiefer dragged down as he tries to wind his way through the hole. Isaiah Ward in the middle. Stopped him at the 12-yard line, picked up 2. Same spot they were when they had to settle for the field goal moments ago. You don't figure in the 4-point game they'd do that again.
They want one more play here with the win, down to 5 seconds.
Neros, he'll pitch it to Bennett. Bennett bounces through the hole and into the end zone. It's 16 unanswered for the Knights, and a lead coming up with the PAT pending. Right as the third quarter hit zeros, Jarrett Bennett rushes for his third touchdown of the night. Extra point, last one with the wind. It is good. It's a 3-point lead for St. Michael-Albertville. The Knights will kick it off to start the fourth quarter. 31-28. Cougars needed to go their way in the fourth right here on North Metro TV. Now, Jarrett Bennett came into this game having rushed for 8 touchdowns on the season. He's got 3 more, including 1 from 32, 1 from 24, and the latest from 12. And part of a 6-team, make it 17-0 third quarter that has just ended. And the Knights have a 31-28 lead. Headed to the fourth. Not done, Nick, but the Cougars have to get that mojo back that they had in the first 2 quarters of this one. Bouncing kick, taken and secured by Centennial at the 30, and that's where the offense will start. Got the wind at their back, and we'll see how much that comes into play in this game at all, as that one covered on the kick team by Marcus Whitting.
Well, as I mentioned before, the optimist would tell you that at least they have the wind at their back here in the fourth quarter.
That was one less thing that the optimist had going for them last time you said that.
So Centennial, of course, they're a running team, so that's not as much of an advantage as maybe they were if they were a passing team, but at least St. Michael-Albertville will have to work into the wind for the remaining 11:58.
Long drives and points, that's what the Cougars need. And coming out of the quarter, off the kickoff, unable to get the play away and using the first timeout. They did that once, a couple times in the first half. Those timeouts, well, rarely seem to come back to bite you, but when you reload it with 3 in the second half, those ones become precious and you start a quarter with it. Rough. But it's crucial at this point.
Well, and you can't afford to make mistakes at this point. So if you feel like it is a play that's destined to turn into some sort of disaster where you might fumble the football or something like that, you have to call the timeout. But you're right. Now you're in a situation where you're in a 1-score game where you might need those timeouts late. And so anything that you don't have in your back pocket with 2-3 minutes to go is really going to be exacerbated as the game goes on.
From their own 30, out of the timeout, first down and 10. Cougars with tight end on either side of the line. Jesse Hauk is out there on the right side. Kevin Jantz is on the left. And 2 wide receivers. They'll run it with Lou. Lou into the second level. And a big burst for Lance Lou for the first time today. His record-setting day a week ago. Hadn't really got going, had the 1-yard touchdown. This time bursts his way to the 44 to pick up 14 on first down.
And a big first down there for Centennial. They needed that. As we take a look back, they only had 2 first downs on their first drive of the second half. Since then, they have not had a first down, so that's their first down in quite some time.
Even on that drive where they picked up first downs, they weren't super successful on first down plays. So good to see there too. Cummings pulls it out of the belly of Lou and keeps it in tonight's territory. Lost his mouth guard at the 46-yard line. And a big gain of 9 on first down. That's what they're looking for.
We do have an update in that Wayzata-Stillwater game. Wayzata now leading Stillwater 14-0 early in the fourth quarter. The winner of that game would take on this one.
Cougars had Wayzata looking in the mirror after a 6-0 win in week number 5. Trojans, though, haven't really looked back since then. And now on the road themselves, trying to pick up a big win against Stillwater, the number 1 seed. Cummings will keep again, quickly trying to get around the edge before he was dragged back by Evan Feldick.
Boy, it looked like he was going to have some room, and then all of a sudden he disappeared into the pile.
And I don't think he even got the first down, so
No.
it's 3rd and inches. From the 47. The ball is inside the 47-yard line, so it's about half a yard to move past the 46. 10:25 and counting. Cummings peeks at the sideline. And it's Granzo as the second tight end, left side. Jansa on the right. O'Neal in motion. Lou gets it, and he's hit in the backfield. Do they give him initial push? And the line to gain half a yard, and I don't think it's going to be a favorable spot. It is 4th down.
They have to be at the 46-yard line, and they are not. They're all the way back to the 47. He lost a yard. And they have to go for this, I believe. This is a momentum.
Titus,
Well,
they're going to get a measurement here.
This is a tough call.
That was blown up from the start. I was trying to see, I think it was Titus Johnson, a linebacker who was able to fill in there for St. Michael-Albertville and get good enough of a push to keep Lou from even thinking about a first down plunge.
Well, and this was well played by Mike Diggins, the head coach for Centennial. He was able to successfully plead for a measurement, even though it was a negative play. What that does is that gives them a timeout, really, to think about what they want to do here. And this is really a tough call because you could either punt this football with the win now and potentially pin St. Michael-Albertville deep, or you could go for it. But if you don't get it, if you do not get it, you have put St. Michael-Albertville in a position to really put themselves in the driver's seat with another short field, which they've had all third quarter, and you would give them another short field with the chance to score another touchdown and make it a 2-score game. And you can feel the excitement, and you can see it on our screen. The people are jumping up and down in the stands, and it's actually making our camera work shake. That's how excited they are here on 4th down. They're going to go.
4th and inches. Cummings, O'Neal in motion, gives to Lou. No! Did he keep it? He gave it to Lou, and Lou got it. Wow. Made the right choice, and Lance Lou dives his way there. The Knights thought they stopped him, but that time the initial surge to the 46 and past it.
And they may want to believe that they stopped him, but he definitely crossed that 46-yard line, which is where they needed to go. He didn't get it by much.
Well, you
but
saw
he
the
got
measurement, right? He puts the hands up.
Yeah.
They're not even shoulder width apart. It was that close. That's all he needed, and he got it. French set of downs for the Cougars. Down by 3, second half. O'Neal tries to turn upfield. No place to go. Knocked right down by Owen Barthel. Second down and 10. Ball spotted at the 46.
And the wind actually blew the football about a half yard upfield. They'll re-spot the ball, but that's where we're at as far as the wind is right now.
Even the football on the ground.
Even the football on the ground will roll.
Cougars looking for a big play. They had that magic in the first half. Nielsen Jr. running to the right, cutting back in, has space. Nielsen Jr. He could go. One man to beat. There's your big play. Touchdown Cougars from 46. They retake the lead here in the 4th.
And we talked about anything that was going to get the momentum going back in the way of the Cougars, and that may have been it, as the Cougars retake the lead now 34-31, and now we get back to the wind and the position. Will St. Michael-Albertville be as efficient going into the wind as they were with it?
Snap back, kick up, Nowoski makes it again. He's been automatic, point after, makes it 35-31. Cougars back up by 4.
That's a 7-play, 3-minute, 27-yard, or 27 on the time. It's a 70-yard drive overall, culminating with the 46-yard touchdown run by Nielsen, as you see. cuts right, gets through the initial hole, and then this is just the speed again. We saw it in the first quarter, and now we see it here in the fourth. Once he gets past that initial line, he can turn on those afterburners and get ahead of the defense, and it's a race to the finish. And Nielsen, despite getting hurt, remember, he was hurt earlier, had that ankle injury. Looks like he's doing okay now as the Cougars are back up by 4.
7th rushing touchdown, 8th touchdown overall. He's also thrown for a score. Or rather, thrown for a big play on a halfback pass. And these Cougars needed that in a big way. They block it up front, and that really, Nick, to me, is one of the first times where that offensive line looked the same and as dominant as they had in the first half. Offensive line or defensive line as Kiefer takes it at his own 4. Around a block, Shindezelos, though, he was blocked off of him and still able to get the right arm around and slow him up enough to allow the help to come in, and Jaden Lutz makes the tackle. I was right. Lance Nielsen Jr. did throw for that touchdown on a halfback pass a couple of weeks ago. So he's got 1 that he threw, 1 that he caught, and now 7 rushing touchdowns. Along with 3 interceptions as well. From their own 24-yard line. Just under 8.5 to play. They'll start with a run straight up the middle. Bennett, he's become the workhorse here. 3 touchdowns in the game. Why not? He's out to the 29.
I want to bring up a little side note that a friend of mine by the name of Paul Miller, he's an alum of St. Michael-Albertville. He's here tonight, and he said, you know, it's pretty amazing looking around tonight. This is a big game, 6A football, 2nd round, closely matched. I'll finish after this play.
2nd and short. Bennett bouncing into the hole, but then he runs right into the Cougars, able to fall forward through the tackle of Granzo. But they keep him to a 3rd down here, just past the 30.
He said when he was a kid, 25 years ago, he went to a section final, St. Michael-Albertville. 25 years ago, they played Holdingford in a Class B Section 6 playoff. That's the 2nd smallest, which would have meant it was probably like the 2,000 to 5,000 range in terms of population. And now here they are, the section in the Class 6A 2nd round.
In this stadium, nonetheless, as Bennett gets the pitch. Bennett falls forward with enough, maybe. Not a great spot. Could be 4th and inches here. You look on Google Maps, by the way, and the aerial view, this stadium isn't even done yet. That's how recent all of this finishing off in this particular location.
Well, and a fantastic facility. You got the video board on our right. I mean, a huge grandstand here and a substantial visitors section as well. And coming back from probably what was probably a 1,000-seat stadium 25 years ago. The way things have changed, particularly in this northwest corner.
And since they went 6A in 2016, they've gone 32-16. Here's a big 4th and 1, and Nero the keeper. And this one might come down to a measurement too. Cougars, of course, think they stopped him. It'll certainly depend on the spot.
If you look at the near side judge, he's got it. If you look at the far side judge, he might be a foot short. It's all going to be the placement of the ball. It'll be the far side judge, and that is going to be short based on where they place the football.
But they will still measure here, potentially turning it over on downs in a 4-point Cougar lead. Everything went wrong against the Cougars in the 17-0 St. Michael-Albertville 3rd quarter, including a turnover that turned into points. They've got the points so far in the 4th quarter and a big measurement here.
The 1st down marker is at the 28-yard line. This is, I think, this is going to be short by about 3 inches.
Cougars had a measurement on a 3rd down come up just short for them. They got it on 4th. This one on 4th down, and it is short by the chain link. And the Cougars turn them away on downs and will take over plus territory at the 33 of the Knights.
What'd you say that would be, about 3 inches there?
Yeah, thereabouts.
3 inches?
However big that loop is.
And actually, watching the replay, I think that was a good spot.
Favorable spot.
I think that was a favorable spot. I don't think he got to where the ball was marked. The ball, remember, is down in the breadbasket. We're looking at the helmet, we're looking at the shoulder pads. That ball is in the breadbasket. Just like when O'Neal was going across the end zone, he didn't quite get it because the ball was down by the breadbasket. That was a favorable spot for St. Michael-Albertville, and they didn't get there.
Still short. So the Knights digging deep here against the Cougars. Still a one-possession game, and a lot of times, 6.5, up by 4. And a whistle to blow this dead. Somebody took a timeout, the Cougars did. They'll spin their second. Up by 4. Well, you think, all right, great field position. So they will talk this one over. Looks like Wayzata will be the next opponent for whomever comes out victorious here. And that game at Park Center next week for the winner of this one and the winner of Stillwater and Wayzata. One touchdown here in the fourth quarter that belongs to the Cougars. Here's the Cougars to start this drive after they turned them away on downs. The narrow fourth down. Dalen Cummings to pitch into the back of Lance Lou. He wasn't looking, and the Knights take it back. Hit him between the 4 and the 2 on the wrong side, and Evan Feldick grabs the football, and the worm has turned right back in favor of the Knights.
Lance Lou had no idea that play was coming to him. As we watch this, he is running as though he is lead blocking. He thought O'Neal was going to get that football. I think O'Neal thought he was going to get that football. I think everybody in that huddle thought O'Neal was getting the football except for Dalen Cummings. And so a turnover there, and St. Michael-Albertville's not out of it yet.
Nero with time and space, and he finds Bennett. Out to the 46-yard line. They took over back at the 33, right where that fourth down play ended. That could have potentially been considered a forward pass there to the back of the tailback. But right borderline, so called a fumble. Kiefer down in the hole, picks up a yard to the 47.
And just when you thought Centennial might have regained control and momentum of this one, it turns right back over. And so with 6 minutes to go, and I thought it was risky for St. Michael-Albertville to go for it when they did on fourth down. I thought they might be giving up the ghost if they did not get that first down, and now here they are right back to life.
Can't make mistakes in the playoffs or on the road, and unfortunately the Cougars did it in both of those categories as Purcell has the grab, tiptoes the sideline, and a first down into Cougar territory.
And passes of 13 and 15 yards into the wind now for Owen Neros. And put St. Michael-Albertville back in the driver's seat, and with 5:34 to go, they still have plenty of time.
That's the pitch that just went to the wrong guy, trying to get O'Neal to fill that hole that Lance Lou was trying to crash open for him. It didn't work. Now the pitch to Bennett, getting to the edge. Out of one tackle, couldn't beat the host of Cougars coming there after him, Lance Nielsen Jr. and Reese Newdall after Quick slowed him up.
Well, and after all of this, it's going to come down to this Centennial defense, which has been stalwart all season long, averaging just 15 points per game. And they have been good and they have been not so good in this game. They're going to have to find a way to be good one more time if they're going to move on to the next round.
Neros on second down and long, the play fake. Down the field he goes, and it's caught. Finds Purcell. He's going to be short of the sticks. It'll be third down and short. Brings him down at the 29-yard line. The coverage over there from Will Quick. Update from Shakopee. Inside the final minute, Bengals turn it over on downs, down by 7. They were outscored 13-3 in the second half, and looks like they're going to fall 20-13 in a valiant effort against Shakopee.
Nero's 3 of 3 for 36 yards here on the drive.
Third down and 1. Kiefer hops his way to the first down, trying to spin off tacklers. Drags his way ahead inside the 20 to the 19. Picks up 10 on third and 1. Takes us inside of 4 minutes to go.
Well, and this is where we talked about those timeouts earlier. We're starting to get into that area with 3:50 and counting, where if St. Michael-Albertville scores, you want that full complement of timeouts, and Centennial only has 1 remaining. They took both timeouts coming out of the turnovers on downs or getting the football back.
Kiefer hit by Newdall to keep him from getting all the way to the 15-yard line. Go back to the third quarter when St. Michael-Albertville had to settle for a field goal in a situation like this. They could have gotten goal to go at the 4-yard line, and the Cougars held them 6 yards short of that. So that defense needs to stand up, and they're down 4, so they still need to go for the touchdown. If you're the Knights, they'll bring Purcell out of the game.
We're going to get a timeout here from St. Michael-Albertville here with 3:0. Well, the clock's still running. They called it with about 3:04, but the clock ran down to 3:01. So we'll see if they put any time back on the clock. But just over 3 minutes regardless in this one. And crunch time on both of these sidelines here. St. Michael-Albertville trying to design the play that's going to get them back the lead. And for the Cougars, one last stand here defensively to try and move on to the state quarterfinals.
Last year they won their final game, which was basically this game at the same juncture before everything ended on the season. Cougars, as I mentioned earlier, winning at least 2 state tournament games in 2 straight years in this big all 32 team tournament. 25 and 15 over the last 40 games coming into this one. A sophomore quarterback running the show. So good in the first half. This offense and the line got everything working to bounce out to the 28-7 lead before the closing seconds touchdown made it 28-14 at the half. Outscored 17-0 in the third quarter. So far, the Cougars have the lone touchdown here in this fourth quarter, clinging to a 4-point lead with a second down and 6. In front of the Knights of St. Michael-Albertville out of their first timeout. Cougars have 1 left. Neros under center. Bennett 3 touchdowns, the deep back. Neros wants to throw, dumps it off, the wide receiver screen. It's there, Purcell, nobody touches him. There is a flag down in the backfield.
And this is in the area of holding, so hold on just a minute. This one may be coming back. The tunnel screen was well designed and it was wide open, but there was a reason why it was open.
Nero's hands on his head. Thought they had the 19-yard score that they needed. Knights fans don't like it. Got big number 63. Got the center, Owen Barthel, or excuse me, the right tackle, Owen Barthel. Cougars got to use it here. Inside of 3 minutes to go. Backs them all the way up to the 27-yard line.
Fourth penalty of the game, just 23 yards, but by far the most damaging of the game for St. Michael-Albertville.
Neros wants to throw, quick out, finds its way to Maynard. Immediate tackle made by the Cougars inbounds. Daniel O'Neal, who you said it in the first half, maybe playing the game of his life. It's going to have to come on the defensive side, you would think, now to make some big plays. Does right there with the immediate tackle. Good gain on 2nd down and long. We'll make it 3rd and 11.
So instead of being in the end zone here with the lead, it's 3rd and long, and you have to think this is going to be another passing down. They've been very successful in the air here on this drive.
But they're still thinking 2 downs to get it right, so they go with the run play. Plenty of room for Kiefer, well blocked. He's inside the 5, has the 1st down. Goal to go for the Knights with 2:14 paused on the clock. 16 yards on 3rd and 11.
And while most of us, including me, were thinking pass, St. Michael-Albertville was thinking run, and Kiefer was able to rumble his way inside the 5. And here we go, 1st down and goal to go inside of 2 minutes now. And it's all or nothing here for both of these teams at this point.
Big Sawyer Fosberg, the tight end, bullying down the field to blow that hole open for Kiefer, who's the deep back again with a fullback in front. Kiefer, middle of the field, nowhere to go, does tumble ahead, falling forward. He was immediately hit in the hole by Mason Mix and Reese Littlefield. 2 timeouts left for the Knights. Not really an issue right now at goal to go.
And Centennial will call their final timeout to try and conserve time. At this point, St. Michael-Albertville could potentially run the clock out to a point where if they do score, there wouldn't be any time for Centennial to do anything with it regardless. And so Centennial will call their timeout here to try and maintain whatever time there is at this point. They don't have any timeouts left at this point, so the control is all in St. Michael-Albertville's territory at this point. And at this point, St. Michael-Albertville in control here, 4 yards out, and it's going to take the defensive stand of their lives for Centennial to move on.
Definitely need it here. Field goal does St. Michael-Albertville no good, so you just have to keep them out of the end zone. And they have 3 downs with which to work.
St. Michael-Albertville also with the benefit of having 2 timeouts, so they can afford to run the football. Time is not really an issue anyways, but if they want to make sure that they're on the same page, they can call timeouts. They don't have to rush things. They've really got all the options at this point.
So down to this, you said it, defensive stop of their lives. Turnovers, 2.5, have hurt the Cougars in a big way. And now their backs up against the wall with Neros and company. They've got Bennett back as the deep back. Kiefer will lead block as the pitch goes to Bennett, and he's right into the end zone for 6. And a 2-point lead for the Knights. Minute 30 plus remaining in the game. Started with the turnover on the misplay for the Cougars. Crucial extra point. Make sure a field goal doesn't beat them. Into the wind, and it is good for Purcell. Had a couple of big catches on the drive. Bennett scores for the 2nd time in the half and the 4th time tonight. Excuse me, it's the 3rd time in the half and the 4th time tonight. Pitch, plenty of blocking, made the right cut. And leaves the Cougars with just over a minute 30 to work.
Longest drive of the game for St. Michael-Albertville. That was a 12-play, 67-yard drive. They used 4 minutes and 49 seconds. And again, if you were the optimist here, St. Michael-Albertville scored and allowed Centennial a minute 36 remaining on the clock. If it had taken 2 more downs to do it, there would have been no time left. So Centennial will get the football back. It's a 3-point game, so field goal is an option.
Short kick into the wind. Taken by Quick at the 20. Bursts his way through the middle. Good field position to start. Out past the 40. That's crucial. This is right in the same spot in the field where they scored that opening touchdown. They started that drive at the 44. Bang, went one play for 56 yards. This one will start at the 41. That was Lance Nielsen Jr., who also now has a 46-yard touchdown run to his credit. They don't do it quick strike through the air, but that doesn't mean they can't be a quick strike offense. They don't have any timeouts from their own 41. It'll be officially a minute 31 on the clock, 91 seconds to work with. Cummings will start in a pistol look with Lou behind him and 4 wide receivers. Drop back. Has a man. Catch made. Did he keep the foot in? No. Excellent effort along that far sideline, but unable to keep the foot in there. And it's incomplete.
Good protection on first down. Cummings rolling out.
Ty Burgoon just couldn't toe tap.
Yeah, he couldn't get that foot down before he fell out of bounds.
I know the time is against them and they don't have timeouts, so you don't want to be running the football and run a lot of clock off, but when you have as many big plays in the run game and that's your offense, at least outside of a minute, I was expecting it on first down at least. That's not how they're going to roll. They're going to try and throw their way back into field goal range at least. They'll get it to Burgoon. He's got to get out of bounds at least, and he does.
Smart.
Spins his way to the 46-yard line to pick up 5. It's 3rd down and 5.
Well, and it looked like Burgoon was going to cut into the middle of the field, which would have probably been the worst situation because it didn't look like he was going to be able to get a first down regardless, and then smartly turned the other way and was able to get out of bounds.
A couple of sophomores connecting there. Burgoon last week against Eastview had a couple of chances at big plays. Third down and a long 5. Clock is stopped. Play clock down to 15. No rush for the Cougars. Got to get everything straight. It's a different offense than they run all game long with 4 wide receivers. Dougherty's another. Out of the backfield goes Lou. They'll spin it to him. He makes the grab, stiff arms his way to the outside, but taken down inbounds and short of the first down by 2 yards. He's at the 49. Clock will spin. That'll take us under a minute to go. And this is 4th down, so you can't hurry too much. You need the down and distance. They'll run it with Lou on the draw, and he's got it. Lou space into Wayzata territory.
Clock does stop while they move the chains.
Down to the 42. Under 56 seconds remaining, and a spike for Dalen Cummings.
As Lou was able to get in, that was a really nice play by Lance Lou as the quarterback Cummings dropping back and handing off. As we watch it again, this was really played well. It looked like Cummings was going to keep the ball, and at the very last second handing off to Lou, and he found room up the middle for 8 yards in the first down.
2nd down and 10. Could it come down to the leg of Eli Nowaski to keep this season alive? You need a few more yards to have that in your mind. Dalen Cummings dumps it off, incomplete. Threw it behind the right ear hole of Lance Lou. It's 3rd down and 10.
Yeah, that was a rushed play. It was a design screen, so it was no surprise that the linemen were coming upfield with Cummings, but he rushed the throw a little bit and did not connect, and it'll be 3rd down.
Nowaski is hit from 29, so conceivably at least inside the 15 to give yourself a chance. We're still a good 25 yards away from that. And that would just tie the game potentially, but the Cougars might take it at this point considering where they got the football, down by 3 and with the time remaining.
They would take it every day and twice on Sunday right now.
3rd down and 10. 3 wide this time. Nielsen Jr. is just off the left side. He's going to stay in and block. Cummings fires it, tipped, out of bounds and incomplete. Off the hands of Clark. Or no, I think it went off the hands of Dan O'Neill, who was in front of Luke Clark.
It may have gone off of both of them the way it bounced. It ricocheted off of one, then it got over everybody else. But
kind of mirroring each other on those routes there, but not a lot of space in between.
And now you're down to 4th down. And this is a scenario where you look at this and your offensive coordinator, probably to our right in the booth, has to have the play that he knows will pick up 10 yards. No point in saving it at this point. So you pull your best play out at this point.
And you've got enough time if you get it. They'll pause the clock and you can still run up and spike it. But you need the 10 yards to keep the hope alive. Cummings drops back, hit as he throws, down the field for Burgoon, in coverage, and it's intercepted. Either way, It wasn't going to go the way of the Cougars, and the Knights, with a big second half, will cap it with the INT for Bennett and company. And they will survive a valiant effort from Centennial. No timeouts left for the Cougars. A kneel down will do it for the Knights. And the season will close on a game that started so well. And too many turnovers late in the second half doomed the Cougars here on the road.
And really a dramatic turn, as this was 28-7 with about 2 minutes to go in the first half. This was 28-7, and at that point, in fact, they scored with 6 seconds to go. St. Michael-Albertville scored with 6 seconds to go. So up till that point, 28-7, and St. Michael-Albertville outscores them 31-7 the rest of the way and wins it tonight, 38-35.
The Cougars will fall as this clock heads to 0. A season, though, where you bring in a young quarterback. He came leaps and bounds from the first time these two teams met. It's unfortunate that his mistake late going to get highlighted, certainly, but there were other fumbles, too, earlier in the half that really opened the door for St. Michael-Albertville. All told, though, Nick, you look at it, and this is a Cougar team. They'll lose some seniors, certainly, along that defense, along that offensive line, but some players and pieces in place to build on this disappointment here and move into next year and try and create some momentum on their own here. They were that third quarter and 2 turnovers away from knocking off the Knights here on the road.
Yeah, you know, you look at this and, you know, there's always, you know, disappointment over the fact that you let one slip away. And for players like Lance Liu and Dan O'Neill and, you know, those type of players, it's really difficult. And on the defensive line, of course, Isaiah Ward, Chase Granzo, you know, Mason Mix. I mean, there's a lot of players that Centennial's going to lose. But as always, there will be players coming behind. The Will Quicks, Reese Littlefields, of course, Dalen Cummings, Lance Nielsen Jr. will be back. And so Centennial will retool and hope for the best again next year.
Well, it's been a tremendous football season for us here on North Metro TV. Glad to get back to have done it with you, with Bill, with everybody that's worked in here. Cougars fall here tonight, and their season comes to a close. Don't forget, highlights of everything here in tournament and postseason time comes your way every Monday on Sportston. That, like this game, all right here on North Metro TV. Good night, everybody.